We're here today talking with John Stroebel about his book, Leaf Runner. John, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your book and these leaf runners within your book.
Okay, sure. Um, well, the book is about Mercer Evans, who's a 20 something, a couple years out of college, and has all the potential in the world, yet really no desire to live up to it. One of those classic underachievers. And he gets in a pattern of life where he drank himself and to sleep every night. And on one particular night, he had a dream that he felt was so real and ended gruesomely, and he just shrugged it off as a nightmare. But it happened, another dream happened the next night, very similar. And so he was kind of consumed after that, every waking moment of his day, by the events of those dreams, and um, discovered something terrifying that related to that. Through a twist of science, he was actually present in the minds of his ancestors as they lived and died. He experienced both the good and the bad, even the horrible, about pieces of his family history. He also learns that he's not only present in their minds to experience these moments, but he also can affect their thoughts, and he can affect their actions. So he can change history. Um, Later on, he discovers this ability is not his alone, that there are others who have this similar ability, but a very select few. And then he's pulled into a battle of good versus evil, basically, that plays out both in the present and throughout history. And he has to come to grips with his role in this whole battle that's been thrust upon him, and where he's forced basically to find out just what he's capable of and what his potential might be. So that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, very intriguing. Where did you come up with the idea behind this story, or what inspired you to write this?
Sure. Well, it's actually a product of COVID, is what I will say.
Okay.
Obviously with COVID, everybody was sort of locked down for a while, right? And I've my wife and I have been together for 30 plus years, and I think for some couples that worked well or not so well, and for some couples it worked great. For us, it was probably there's a huge silver lining because, on these days where we're together all the time, my wife came up with a game. Before we go to sleep at night, we'd ask each other questions, simple questions like, "What's the next project you want to do on the house?" Or "What was your favorite TV show when you were growing up?" Just stuff that you might have asked when you were dating, but over 30 years of marriage and kids, you forget, you kind of just live day to day, and there's so much yet to learn about each other. And so this kind of forced us into that learning. One of the questions she asked one night was, what is something that you've always wanted to do but have never done? And it just kind of came to me right there. I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to do it, and I've just never had the opportunity. With my career as an engineer, that's been my focus. Having a family with kids. So, boof, poof. She said, "Write, do it."
Hmm.
And an idea just simultaneously almost popped into my head about this interest in ancestry that we see these days, especially with DNA testing and how people are discovering their history and their stories. And that sort of inspired the idea here of creating a book with a slightly sci-fi aspect of it, with a little bit of time travel, but yet it's a contemporary thing, and it's a thriller, and just exploring that ancestry and what the impacts of that have. So that's the inspiration.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. So when Mercer goes back, is he going back? Are some of the characters some of your ancestors, or is it completely fictional?
No, it's completely fictional, but it's based on real times, things,
Okay.
times in history, and maybe even events of history. That's
Okay.
all. That's as far as I'll go there. But
Yeah.
that's where it gets exciting and interesting, right?
Yeah.
Is to see how he can impact this history, our history.
Sure. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to share with us before we end today?
Sure. I'm hoping that this book will lead readers to consider that the choices they make, and that have been made by their ancestors, have impacted their own lives in many ways. We don't even know it, right? But it's, we're started somewhere. There's a stage been set for us when we're born, really it's set by our ancestors and the choices they've made. How many of us actually know what our history is and how we came to be the way we are? And also how the choices we make will affect not only our future, but the future and the stage we set for our descendants. So it's kind of, it's just that thread of history. Just kind of think about that. Think about your history and about what the legacy maybe you want to leave.
Yeah.
And then I do also want to mention that this is a start. So I'm planning a series of books. I don't know how far that's going to go, but there's already others started. So that's the plan.
Well, you beat me to it. That was going to be my question: is did you have a sequel in you? But so we'll be on the lookout for that. And you can grab a copy of John's book, Leaf Runner. It's available online through most major retailers, through Amazon, Barnes and Noble. If you like to read on the Kindle or one of your devices, it's available as well through iTunes. So thanks so much, John, for sharing about your book and leaving us a little bit of a cliffhanger there.